We have about a minute.
Yeah. What about the Zoom people? Are they Zoom?
Yeah, I got a couple.
On the original thing, was it saying 10:15?
Was it 10, I think?
It's at 10.
Oh, it did.
10.
So I think I have about like 15 people on the Zoom right now.
Oh, okay. So tell me when to start, Corey.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock, so whenever you'd like to begin, it'd be fine.
Did you see my name?
Oh, go ahead. I see you right now. There you go.
ありがとうございます。
I see you. You can even turn off your camera. So even Carmel, you can turn off your, all the presenters can disable their Zoom cameras on their laptops. And that way you won't have to see yourself on your laptop.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Can we start with Gasho, please? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Okay, I'd like to welcome all of you to our Center for Buddhist Education seminar on the psychology of Shinjin. We thought that this would be a very appropriate subject for the center because our goals were to talk about and teach specifically Jodo Shinshu from somewhat of a three-pronged perspective of doctrine, application, and cultural aspects. And so today we have three wonderful speakers for this psychology of Shinjin. First speaker this morning will be Rev Kiyonobu Kuwahara, who has many, many roles. He's the director of the Jodo Shinshu International Office, but he's also the Berkeley Buddhist Temple's resident minister. And he's also done many other things for Honganji. But we've asked him this morning to talk about the doctrinal aspects of Shinjin. And if you want a more detailed talk, earlier we've had Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto do 4 seminars specifically on Shinjin. So if you go there, it's almost 6 or 7 hours of lecture on Shinjin. But for today, we've asked Reverend Kuwahara to speak fairly briefly on the doctrinal aspects of what Shinjin is. Right, so thank you. Kuwahara Sensei.
Coach-san, may I share my screen? Good morning, everyone. So please let me read this passage before I start. So if you can please join me, Gasho. How to listen to a Dharma message. I'm listening as if I'm listening for the first time. I listen as if the message is for myself alone. I listen as if this is the last chance to listen to the Dharma. 弔問の心得 in Japanese。この度のこのご縁は初ごとと思うべし。この度のこのご縁は我一人のためと思うべし。この度のこのご縁は根性最後と思うべし。ナマンダーツ。ナマンダーツ。ナマンダーツ。Hi, again, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining today's wonderful special session to talk about, to learn about Shinjin, Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. So I really appreciate all the hard works by Hirano Sensei, and then Bishop Harada, and then Koichi-san, and then although she's not here, Judy Kono, she is a very, very important person for JSC and then CBE, also Berkeley Buddhist Temple. And so I also really appreciate many people are here in person at the Jodo Shinshu Center. And then people at the different places to learn the Dharma through via Zoom. ありがとうございます。Zoom の人たち。はい。So, as Hirano Sensei mentioned, so today we are going to talk about three speakers today, and then those three speakers talk about Shinjin from three different perspectives, angles. And then I am the top first speaker, and then supposed to cover the doctrinal aspect of Shinjin in the Jodo Shinshu tradition. But Hirano Sensei mentioned, I strongly recommend you, go to CBE YouTube channel, and then check Matsumoto Sensei's. There are 4 videos. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. And then, yeah, they're very helpful in detail. Yeah, tons of information. And so I kind of, feel embarrassed, talk about the Shinjin here today because we have such a wonderful materials already. So yeah, if you don't like my presentation today, maybe going back home, you open the YouTube and then please watch Matsumoto Sensei's videos. And then I also appreciate the Koichi-san's hard work to edit and record all those videos and posting to YouTube channel. And we have over 100 or 186 videos. And there are a lot of videos on YouTube by CBE, and so I don't know they are making money, but no. So please go and visit and then watch video as much as you can. So I think my time is about 50 minutes, a little bit shorter than 1 hour. And then my bad habit is always bring more information, more materials than the time I have. So I usually don't have enough. I usually don't finish my presentation, but I try to finish my slide today. Finish by them. So before I talk about Shinjin, Jodo Shinshu, let me begin this very general but very broad question. What is Buddhism? 小石さん、立っても大丈夫、マイク大丈夫かな？ People can hear? これで大丈夫かな？ Okay, so what is Buddhism? Who is a Buddhist? I think many of you are like long-time Buddhists, or maybe very hard worker, eager learners of Dharma. And then because of ambiguity or very broad question, I know there are many different answers to these questions, but let me respond them this way. And so what is Buddhism? So the teachings delivered, taught by Shakyamuni Buddha, who was a historical Buddha born in India about 2,500 years ago. After his spiritual quest pursued, he attained enlightenment. And then kindly he shared what he attained, enlightenment, Buddhahood with us. So that's how we have Buddhism today. Of course, thanks to the great efforts, even sacrifices of our predecessors. So that's why we can enjoy the Buddha Dharma 21st century here in the United States. And then today I want to point out, emphasize this point. Okay, so Buddhism is a teaching for me, for each of you to become a Buddha, or teaching to attain Nirvana. And what is Nirvana? So this is an Indian term, but like a extinction of flame of blind passions, or Bonno. So Bonno, blind passions, is the cause of our trouble, difficulties, hardships, stress. So that's why once we can remove the cause of our trouble, then we are liberated from all those difficulties, suffering, hardship, etc., etc. So that is the goal of Buddhism. And then along with that understanding, who is a Buddhist, right? So one who appreciates or respects the teachings delivered by Shakyamuni Buddha. So practically or function-wise, Buddha Dharma could function as like a stress reduction or make our life happy, right? But I also, as a Buddhist, I want to see appreciation, respect to the Buddha. His teachings makes our life meaningful, deep, happy. Right? So not just, using, Buddhism as a tool, but as a Buddhist, I want to see appreciation, respect to the founder. And then at the same time, like this point, so who is a Buddhist? One who wants to become a Buddha, who aspires to be liberated from the life of suffering, right? With the Buddha Dharma, the guidance of Buddha. So I would say, to become a Buddha, teaching or a Buddhist. So this is the framework of Buddhism. This is the context of Buddhism. So Jodo Shinshu, specifically, we talk about the Shinjin today, right? And then Amida Buddha, Pure Land, Primal Vow Hongan, or Nembutsu, other power. We have so many doctrinal items to study, to learn, right? But if we try to understand them without context, we can easily get lost, or we go a different direction, right? So, especially here, I believe you are kind of very serious, learners, advanced learners. So if you want to, or if we want to deepen our understanding or appreciation of those Jodo Shinshu items, or even Buddhist items too, right? We do need a context. We should understand the framework, why we talk about those things. Right? This is because the ground foundation this is a teaching, guidance, direction for us, for each of you to become a Buddha. And then to do so, in the course of our process journey, we have those things. So today I'm going to talk about the Shinjin. But the Shinjin is inseparably connected with my attainment of Buddhahood, becoming a Buddha. Of course, who is Amida Buddha? What is Amida Buddha? Of course, we have to think about my attainment of Buddhahood, right? Primal vow too. So this framework context is very, very important. So this is the first thing that I wanted to massage. And then another thing that I want to emphasize, especially because among the three speakers, my responsibility, my role is to introduce doctrinal aspect of Jodo Shinshu, Shinjin. So now you see the big picture of the United States and your country. And then, so what is this red and the yellow lines? Oh, what was that? This is a nice, device. This is very expensive, so like touch panel. So what is this line?
Border.
Border, right? So the red line is the border between Canada and the U.S., and the yellow line is a border line between U.S. and Mexico, right? And then what is blue line? Like a dot line. Yeah, state border. Yeah. So this one, for example, California, and then this line divides Oregon and California. Right? So I would say.
Okay.
It's not real. Yeah. So borderline to me, sort of to my understanding, doctrine. So what does it mean? So Canada, United States, Mexico, they are all located on the North America, right? So in a sense, those three countries are all on the same continent, North America. But because of this border, they are different countries, right? People living there kind of similar, but because of this line, the tax is different, among between those countries, or like a culture, history is different, right? So those three countries under the maybe umbrella of North America or on the continent of North America, but this line divides or differentiate those two countries, legally or culturally, historically, right? And then same way, within the United States, there are many states, and then those states are divided legally, especially legally by, those lines, right? Although I'm not American yet, so you are American people, but because of this state border line, then each of you under different law, kind of state law system. Then what does it mean? So Jodo Shinshu is part of Pure Land Buddhism. But within Pure Land Buddhism, there are Jodo Shu. And then Tibetan Buddhism also talks about Amida Buddha, right? And then Tendai Buddhism also talk about the Pure Land or Amida Buddha. So under the umbrella of Pure Land Buddhism, there are different schools. And then each school slightly understand or interpret Amida Buddha, Primal Vow, Shinjin differently. So in other words, or like spread, enlarge the scope, maybe Mahayana Buddhism. Right? Mahayana Buddhism, Jodo Shinshu, Jodo Shu, Zen Buddhism, So under the umbrella of Mahayana Buddhism, different, schools of Buddhism. And then they are Buddhism, but each school has a slight different approach or understanding of doctrine. Right? So what I want to say is, so Shinjin, for example, Shinjin is a Japanese word, and then even like a Christian or other religious tradition, they can use this word as a faith, right? But the Shinjin in Buddhism, Shinjin in Christianity should be different. And then Shinjin in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, Shinjin in Jodo Shu school, Shinjin in Tendai school should be different. So in other words, as Hirano Sensei in his message here said, so we are here to study, learn about Shinjin specifically in the Jodo Shinshu tradition. Right? So that means we have to have a clear understanding. This understanding of Shinjin should be like within Jodo Shinshu tradition. But if we understand Shinjin or interpret Shinjin this way, maybe no longer Jodo Shinshu understanding or Shinran Shonin's understanding. So same way, I know Pure Land and Amida Buddha, there are many different variation of interpretations. But since Jodo Shinshu Center is the facility, wonderful educational facility for us to learn about the Jodo Shinshu teachings, Shinran Shonin's teachings. There are 60 temples on the mainland US of Jodo Shinshu temples. So those Jodo Shinshu temples, BC temples, they are the places where we learn, receive the guidance of Shinran Shonin. So in that sense, doctrine is a kind of very important thing to clarify the uniqueness of Jodo Shinshu understanding, interpretation of those teachings. Amida Buddha, Primal Vow, Pure Land, etc., etc. So I'm here to clarify, to share the unique understanding, uniqueness of the interpretation or understanding of Shinjin in the Jodo Shinshu tradition. So that's why today my presentation I will refer to use or introduce Shinran Shonin, who is a founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, to share the information or knowledge of Shinjin. So that's my kind of introduction. Sorry, that got too long. But I thought that this is very, very important to make it clear, those points. Okay, so what is Shinjin? So again, I want to discuss, introduce what the Shinjin is in the Jodo Shinshu tradition within this context framework. So then, Shinjin, this is how Shinran Shonin said or defines. For example, by the way, CWS is corrected works of Shinran. Corrected works of Shinran. Then, later I can share this PowerPoint file as a PDF. So, great Shinjin is a true cause of attaining great nirvana. True cause of attaining nirvana is Shinjin alone. Swift entrance into the city of tranquility, the uncreated, is necessarily brought about by Shinjin. So now you see this question. So what is Shinjin? Here, those Shinran Shonin's words clarify, tells us Shinjin is the cause of our, attaining nirvana. So that is the significance of Shinjin in the Jodo Shinshu tradition. But I also brought other passages here. Shinjin immediately joined up. Then, not only Shinran Shonin, I think this is the only slide I bring a quote by other master, Renja Shonin, who is the eighth spiritual leader of Jodo Shinshu school. And then because of his effort, Jodo Shinshu became the largest nationwide Buddhist organization. And then that's how we have a history of 800 years. So this year, BCA will celebrate what? September 1st. Do you know? Yes. We are going to celebrate the 125th. So Buddhist Churches of America, BCA, we started officially September 1st, 1899 is the start of our organization. So this year is 125th anniversary. So September 1st at the Buddhist Church of San Francisco, which is our headquarters, we are going to have a big celebration of our organization. I think this is wonderful. Jodo Shinshu, here in the United States over 125 years. Wonderful. And then in conjunction with 125th, we are going to also celebrate Shinran Shonin's 850th. So Shinran Shonin was born about 850 years ago. And then also this school, Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, was established 1224, which is 800 years ago. So this organization, this teaching have survived over 800 years. And then, as I mentioned, thanks to Ren Shonin's effort, it became the largest Buddhist organization in Japan, country of Buddhism. So what does it mean? So this teaching has something, draw people's, attention or something important to their life. So that's why we could survive and then became the largest, Buddhist organization. Now, crossing the ocean here, United States, European countries, Asian countries, people enjoy the guidance of Shinran Shonin. And then let me go back to this slide. So, Renya Shonin, some of you who went to Tokudo, you have to practice Gobunsho, Renya Shonin's letter. And then this is the first line of Shonin Ichiryusho. Shonin Ichiryu no gokanke no omomuki wa Shinjin no motte honto serare. That the first part, the first line is this translation. And what is called in the tradition of Shinran Shonin is the entrusting part. Shinjin is essential. And then another thing, because we are always talking when we have a national board meeting, national council meeting, Hawaii, Canada, these days we are always talking about the decline of membership. And then this words of Renya Shonin is interesting. So we always pursue the size, number of members. But this is what he said, even if even a single person gains Shinjin, this is a true sign of prosperity of our school Joshishu Buddhism. From this sentence, passage, you can tell the importance of Shinjin in our tradition. Anyway, so now we know, so in this context of becoming a Buddha, okay, Shinjin is the decisive course for me, for you to become a Buddha, which is to attain Nirvana, which is the goal of Buddhism. Right? So that's why Shinjin is very important in your tradition. Then, what is Shinjin? So let me continue this question. So now I'd like to move on to characters. So Shinjin, two Chinese characters. The first Chinese character is Shin. And then Chinese character can be broken down, parts. Right? It's a kind of combination, putting together different parts, and then make a kanji or mean something. So this Shin means like a belief or faith. Okay? And then this left part means person. And then this right part is, so when we use it like a verb, it's say or speak, talk. As a noun, it's a word, or maybe what the person says. So this is the meaning of Shin, belief or faith. And then second Chinese character, Shin or Jin. So meaning is the mind, heart, and then reading Jin, Shin, or sometimes Kokoro. And then this Chinese character comes from the this heart, human heart. Human heart, like Chinese people, they kind of change into this shape, and then eventually we have this Chinese character. So this is the literal meaning of the Chinese characters, Shinjin. And then English translation. Matsumoto Sensei talked about the details about the English translation of Shinjin in his video. So faith, belief, or entrusting heart, or entrustment, awakening, or Shinjin awareness. There are many different English translations of Shinjin. This is because Shinjin has a different aspect. So depending on which aspect or character we focus on, then we see different, aspect of Shinjin. So that's why I believe this Shinjin, the word Japanese or Chinese word Shinjin, can be translated in a different way. So depending on the context. So today, I am going to focus on entrust or entrustment or entrusting heart. In the collected works of Shinran, Honganji's publication of Shinran Shonin's writings. So Honganji basically used this word most. Although there are some different translations even within the CWS, but this is the main translation of Shinjin in CWS. And then I'm a spy from the Honganji, so that's why I'm going to push this word. I'm also sent from the Honganji as a staff, so that's why I need to sell this translation. Hi. So what is Shinjin? If we look into CWS, we can find many passages in which Shinran Shonin talk about what the Shinjin is. So this is one of them. True and real Shinjin is expressed in the compassionate vow of birth through the Nembutsu, which is 18th vow, primal vow, or Hongan in Japanese. This compassionate vow of Shinjin, 18th vow, is stated in the larger sutra. And then Shinran Shonin quotes the passage of 18th vow from the larger sutra. So here he said, Shinjin is expressed in the 18th vow. So this is another huge topic to talk about Amida Buddha's primal vow, 18th vow. So let me summarize it this way. So 18th vow is, to my understanding, or in Joroshinshu Buddhists in general, it's like Amida Buddha's compassionate aspiration to liberate us, or not us, not all beings in suffering, from a life of suffering in samsara. And then have them attain perfect nirvana. So I'd say that is the 18th vow. Of course, there are many things in this 18th vow, but just summarize, take the essence of this vow. So Shinran Shonin said, this is Shinjin. So Shinjin is expressed, and we can find it in this compassionate aspiration. And then, what does it mean? So Amida Buddha has expressed this Buddha's aspiration to guide, embrace, liberate us from the life of suffering. Right? And then, so in response to Buddha's aspiration, this is what Shinran Shonin said. So this is a quote from Tanisho. When I consider deeply the vow of Amida, how I am filled with gratitude for the primal vow in which Amida resolved to save me, though I'm burdened with such heavy karma. So Amida has a great compassionate aspiration, and then deeply listened to or receiving Amida Buddha's aspiration, resolution in gratitude, and then this is how responded. So this is the one kind of idea of entrusting heart or entrustment. Okay, Amida, I want to save you. And then, okay, Amida Buddha, I will, let you, save me. Right? This kind of a relationship, like an acceptance of Amida Buddha's compassion or compassionate work, or relying on Amida Buddha's work. So this is a basic idea of Shinjin. And one aspect of Shinjin. And then so that's why Honganji used the entrustment, entrust ourselves to the working, compassion, guidance, embrace of Amida Buddha. Of course, some people say, wait, I don't need to be saved. Right? or I don't think I'm living a life of suffering. I'm living such a wonderful life, right? So some people kind of resist, right, or reject Amida Buddha's approach or aspiration. And then this is another quote from Tanisho. If Amida's primal vow is true, Shakyamuni's teaching cannot be false. If the Buddha's teaching is true, Shandao's commentaries cannot be false. If Shandao's commentaries are true, can Honen's words be lies? If Honen's words are true, then surely what I say cannot be empty. Such, in the end, is how this foolish person entrusts himself to the vow. That sounds like a little blind face. So this entrustment, I know some people kind of challenge it or question. So let me continue. Why entrustment? Why we entrust ourselves to Buddha? So Shinran Shonin says, entrusting is to be free from doubt. This is very important. Believing deeply and without any double-mindedness that Tathagata's primal vow is true and real. So Buddha's heart to try to kind of guide, embrace, liberate us, that Buddha's heart is true and real. So that is entrusting heart, to believing that Buddha's heart without doubt. So I say this true and I like to focus on this true and real part. Okay, so Buddhism again is a teaching for us to become a Buddha, for us to attain nirvana. So the goal is nirvana, cessation of suffering. Right? So in other words, right? So right now we are living a life of suffering. So that's why we need to get out of this life of suffering. Right? So this is the goal of Buddhism. And then the reality, current situation, we are in suffering. Right? So this is, I think this is the words of Kodani Sensei. We are Buddhists because we are not Buddha yet. Right? So we are on the track, but we are not reaching the goal yet. So we have to first aware that we are in suffering. So Shakyamuni Buddha, Gautama Siddhartha, how did he start it? How did he start his spiritual pursuit? Right? He used to be a prince of a kingdom. Right? And then he could be a king, he lived a luxury life, but he threw everything. And then started, life of like a monk. Why? Because he encountered the reality of human existence. Getting old, getting sick, and die. Right? So young Gautama Siddhartha, I need to find a way to deal with this inseparable, inevitable reality of human existence. So that's why he threw everything and then tried to find a path. That is the origin, beginning of Buddhism. So Shakyamuni Buddha, he was aware of what the human existence is, what the reality of human existence. To find the answer, he started so-called Buddhism. So this awareness is very important thing for all Buddhists. And then many Buddhists, right, in the course of their practice at the monastery, they meditate or engage themselves in Buddhist practice. That's how they look into themselves, reflect upon their existence. Right? So this is a phrase, passage by Shandao, the fifth of the seven masters. Yeah. And he talked a lot about the Shinjin. And then Honen Shonin, who is a direct teacher of Shinran Shonin. Honen Shonin, he liked Shandao. He followed the guidance, teaching of Shandao. And then, of course, Shinran Shonin received the guidance of Shandao through Honen Shonin. So this is what Shandao said. So this is talking about his deep realization, awareness of who he was. So interestingly, not only in his life, right, his idea, understanding expanded like many lives. So this is kind of one cosmology of Buddhism, right? Transmigration. So my life is not limited in this life. There are kind of previous lives, right? And then if we cannot be liberated from this samsara, we just continue on, right? This circle of birth and death. So with his deep reflection, he realized this is who he was. And then those are the words by Shinran Shonin. I know sometimes people, members who come to Sunday service, sensei, I don't want to hear this kind of negative words, or pessimistic words. But I would say, Buddhism is not a pessimistic teaching. I would say it's a realistic teaching. So when we humbly, honestly look into myself, or each of you look into yourself, honestly, deeply, humbly. Yeah, I agree with what the Shinran Shonin said. Those are the things also within myself. So anger, wrath, jealousy, envy, yes, I have a lot in myself. Although, as appearance, I will look like a, Jodo Shinshu priest. Inside of myself is terrible. And then if the karmic cause so prompts us, we will commit any kind of act. We think we have a good, nice heart, but under certain circumstances, we commit any kind of act. And then this is also nice. So outward we kind of try to show our wise, good, dedicated. But how about our inside? So Shandao, Shinran Shonin, many Pure masters, they, in the course of their practice, they deeply, humbly look into themselves. And then, since Shinran Shonin agreed with Shandao's take, so that's why this passage is also quoted 2-3 times in his writings. So in short, I would say, this is who we really are. And then this is how we have lived our lives in the many, kalpas. So that's why we are living such a life. Buddha Dharma tries to provide a guidance, liberate us from the life of suffering. And then more completely, especially Shandao as a Pure master. And then second thing, this is what he said. So because this is a reality of my life, my existence. So that's why there is a Buddha. There is a Buddha Dharma tries to save me or try to guide me. And then this is how he appreciated the guidance working of Amida Buddha. So now let me talk a little bit about Amida Buddha. Although today's focus is Shinjin, but let me briefly talk about who is Amida Buddha? What is Amida Buddha? I know this is another huge topic to think about who is Amida Buddha, what is Amida Buddha. So let me just use one passage to talk about this question. So from this treasure ocean of oneness, form was manifested, taking the name of Bodhisattva Dharmaka, who, through establishing the unhindered vow as the course, became Amida Buddha. So this is the one interesting passage to describe Amida Buddha. Then sometimes people, react this way, especially like stories of Bodhisattva Dharmakala in the Raja Sutra, or maybe like Amida Buddha's, appearing in the presence of Queen Vaidehi in the Contemplation Sutra. Hey, sensei, this is the 21st century. This is a kind of, world or time of science. Nobody knows, believe in that kind of thing. So imaginary story or fairy tale. Sometimes I receive this kind of a reaction. The reason why I selected this passage is this passage indicates or tells us a very important point when we understand Amida Buddha. So, form and formless, or essence and manifestation, or revelation. Especially in the Pure Land Buddhism, so many symbols. If you read the Amida Sutra, right, like jewels and the trees and the palace in the Amida Buddha's Pure Land, and then stories, narratives. If we got stuck at the surface level, then we say, that's fairy tale, imaginary story. But again, so there is a manifestation of the truth. There is a manifestation from the oneness suchness. Right? And then they are essentially formless, invisible. So something metaphysical. So we humans cannot perceive them. Right? So we have no access. So that's why the truth itself kindly or compassionately took a form or showed something complete so that we humans can perceive or receive the guidance completely. So Amida Buddha or Pure Land or those stories, narratives, they are a manifestation of the formless. Let me use one example. What's this? Cake, piece of cake. So, many years ago, when Umetsu Sensei, former bishop, was director of CBE. And then one day, member came to the JSC with a cake because this member really appreciated the old programs, hard works of the CBE. So the member wanted to show appreciation, gratitude to the staff. So when Sensei received the cake and then cut into pieces and then put on the plate, and then he kindly brought to staff, CB staff. And then before they started eating, Ume Sensei said, "Stop." And he asked, "What's this?" And then CB staff thought, "Gee, what is he talking about?" Sensei, "This is cake." And then Ume Sensei said, "No. Why no?" Right? So one way to look at this, cake, physical object, is the manifestation of members' appreciation, kindness, or thoughtfulness. Right? This member has this, kimochi, something he or she wanted to express, which is formless. But to convey, to share, appreciation or kindness to CBE, have to put into some form. So that's why this member went to, Safeway or some other grocery store and then bought a cake and then drove to Jodo Shinshu Center to show this formless kindness appreciation into this form of cake. So Ume Sensei's question is nice, asking what's this, pointing the cake, and then try to guide the CB staff to see the unseen in this case. So Amida Buddha's deep compassion, wisdom, compassion, basically formless. And then how did Amida Buddha express his deep compassion? So I would say Namo Amida Butsu is a concrete manifestation of Buddha's heart. And then why, or what does it mean? So Buddhist practices, we Jodo Shinshu Buddhism talk about Nembutsu practice. But in many Buddhist traditions, there are huge number of various type of Buddhist practices. Right? So maybe some Buddhist practice is really simple. And then some Buddhist practices are really complicated. And then some practice is really short. Or maybe some, practice like a Sennichikai Pogyo at the Mount Hiei, like for many years, running around the peaks of Mount Hiei, basically 1,000 days. So there are some other, Buddhist practice longer than that. And then some Buddhist tradition encourages, like a Jodo Shinshu, just one single practice is okay. And then, like a Tendai and the Tibetan Buddhism encourages practitioners to perform many kinds of Buddhist practices. So, speaking of Buddhist practice, simple, complicated, short, long, there are many kinds. Then, so what is a complicated or long practice? Which means more conditions, those practice have more conditions to fulfill. And then simple short means, of course, less conditions to fulfill to successfully perform them. Right? And then as a result, so the complicated long practices, more conditions, less people can successfully make it, complete them. And then simple, short practice, less conditions, so that's why the more people can make it. And then how about the easy, simple practice of Nembutsu? Right? So just say Namo Amida Butsu. This short phrase, Namo Amida Butsu, just 6 Chinese character phrase, we just recited. Right? This short, simple practice, of course, this side. And then I think most people can perform, practice this Nembutsu, recitation of Buddha's name. So I would say Amida Buddha's, heart to, bring all sentient beings to the, shore of Nirvana, attainment of Nirvana, right? So if the practice condition is complicated, of course, less people can make it. So if Amida wants to, embrace, accept all people, then practice should, be really simple and easy. Because of that logic, Amida Buddha established the path of Nembutsu so that accommodate all people, all beings. So again, this manifestation took a form. And then this easy, simple practice of Nembutsu, right? The essence is thoughtfulness or profound, deep depths of Amida Buddha's, great compassion. This compassion, took a form is very simple form of practice, Nembutsu. So when we listen or try to understand the Nembutsu practice in the Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, right? We have to discover the profundity, depth of Amida Buddha's heart in the simplicity, ease of Nembutsu practice. Right? That's how we see the unseen. Right? This is a very important point of pure Buddhism. If we don't do this, then we easily get stuck with all symbols and the stories, narratives of pure Buddhism. And that's a fairy tale. So this teaching, Jodo Shinshu is told like a easy practice, but it's really difficult, challenging, maybe challenging to our here, rational or maybe intellect or maybe idea. I'm smart, clever, I know, right? So that is the difficult part of Jodo Shinshu, pure Buddhism. Okay, anyway, so let me go back to this. So that is brief introduction of Amida Buddha. And then because of that, so this passage I would kind of rephrase. It's okay, so there is a Buddha, or there is a truth manifesting or taking the form, concrete form. And then salvific words, like a larger sutra, contemplation sutra, right? The truth in the form of language, or the truth in the form of place. There are many workings directed to ourselves. So Shinjin, one way to explain is it's a kind of our heart, our understanding, appreciation has those 2 aspects, like a deep appreciation, a deep awareness who I am. Right? And then deep awareness of there is a truth, Buddha Dharma, kind of working for myself. So sometimes in the Jodo Shinshu tradition, those two aspects is a kind of part. They are inseparable. So if we have only this part, Jodo Shinshu Buddhism becomes really negative or something depressive. Well, but if we have only this part, very shallow, superficial, losing the like a deep self-realization, self-awareness. So Jodo Shinshu Shinjin carries those two aspects in balance, like two aspects of pearl or two sides of a paper. Then how do we get this kind of awareness? Shinran Shonin said here, Monpo, listen to the Dharma, indicates Shinjin. This is a little bit longer passage about here. What to hear more specifically? So Shinran Shonin talks about the larger sutra, and then especially Buddha's vow. And then specifically he talks about the origin and fulfillment. So there is a story of Bodhisattva Dharmaka. This figure used to be a king, but so excited with the Buddha Dharma, and then throw away everything. And then like a Shakyamuni Buddha became a practitioner. And then that excitement is told in the Sambutsuge. So Sambutsuge, that Shotogatha, we chant at the Jodo Shinshu temple. The Sambutsuge, the first part is kind of telling the excitement of this Bodhisattva Dharmakara encountering his master, Buddha, Lokeshvara Raja, receiving the Dharma, so excited, inspired, and then showing kind of a resolution to become a Buddha. That is, Sambutsuge. And then the origin of vow is this guy, or each of you. Because you're here in samsara, living a life of suffering. So that's why this Buddha stood up, decided to establish the path for this guy to complete or to be liberated from this samsara. And then fulfillment is a path, easy practice of Nembutsu. Right? Even this guy successfully performed so easy, so simple Nembutsu path. So today I listened to how to listen to the Dharma. This is very important part. I listen as if the message is for myself alone. So Buddhist Sutra is not talking about somebody else, right? So Bonno, Bonbu, three poisons, foolish being is not talking about my wife, not talking about my parents, not talking about my friends, right? Everything taught in the Buddhist Sutra is Buddha is talking about this guy or yourself. So in the Sutra Ananda Shariputra, right? So we have to think about it's me. And then I think Kamera Sensei will talk about this part. And then so Shakyamuni Buddha, sharing the Buddha Dharma, encourages us to liberate from this Saha war, samsara. And then Amida Buddha on the other side, shore of enlightenment or nirvana, kind of inviting, calling us to come. So this awareness, I'm the person who needs to be liberated this life of suffering. So the Pure Land or nirvana is my goal, right? So this kind of awareness is provoked by those two Buddhas. So that's why Shinran Shonin, there are several passages about the Shakyamuni Buddha and the Amida Buddha. Because of them, we receive Shinjin. So this Shinjin here is more like an awareness of the necessity, me to be liberated from this life of samsara, need to follow the guidance, receive the guidance of Amida Buddha or them's teaching. Speaking of how to become aware, so those are the pictures of younger me, and then younger. This is 8. My second son 8. So those are the pictures me and the 8 when he was baby, he was small. So I intentionally collected the nice pictures, like I'm taking care of him, right? I did it. And I know how to change diapers. Okay. So, 8. And this is his action, legally 8. So receiving words, care, and love from me. So 8 gradually, came to feel, this guy is different from the adult around. And then this guy is something special to me. Right? By receiving care, or I always say, Eito, to-chan, hey, Eito, it's me, it's to-chan, I'm that. I'm always talking to him. And then gradually, he has idea, he forms the idea, oh, this guy is special. Oh, this guy is so-called father or dad, right? So in the course of receiving care, love, love, and then child forms kind of recognition, idea of who this person is. And in this formation, is this ethos efforts? Or maybe as a parent, as a father, providing continuous love, care, words. So the formation of this kind of recognition, mainly parents, effort. Not the child just receiving the care, love from the parent. So mainly the formation relies on parents' effort. So another interesting uniqueness of Jodo Shinshu Shinjin is this one. Shinjin is given by Amida. So among the English translation, you find a faith or belief. So usually faith and belief really needs to make effort, try to believe in God, try to believe in something, right? Our efforts, our side's effort matters. But here Shinjin is given by Amida Buddha. It's kind of free from our effort. This is one uniqueness of Shinjin in the Jodo Shinshu tradition. So that's why some scholars kind of don't like to translate Shinjin as faith. And then, another my killed family, this is my torture, my father. So he's also Jodo Shinshu priest. So one time he said, oh, Shinjin is something like this. What does it mean? So it's almost hour, right? So I need to finish, right? So I think you've been sitting on your chair for over an hour. Has any of you thought about this kind of question while you were sitting? Nobody, worried about or questioned the chair you're sitting on. So Shinjin is no question, no doubt, no worry. This is another aspect, feature of Shinjin too. Totally relying on ourselves to the chair. This kind of no worry, no question is another aspect of Shinjin. And then how did you, get this kind of sense of security for the chair? Because of your experience, since you were born in this life, many years, you sit down the chair many times for many years. Because of that experience, chairs are basically safe. Right? So maybe you listen to the Dharma, it's something like that. So that's why another thing is doubt. What is the opposite of Shinjin? It's doubt. And this doubt arises from our ignorance. And this ignorance, Chinese character, especially I like this part. So this Chinese character means like a chi means sick or ill knowledge. I know myself. I know what the Buddha is. I know Buddhism is. I know this world. This kind of I know from Buddha's perspective that's ill, sick, unhealthy knowledge. And then based on that knowledge, we take action. So that's why we do something wrong. So that's why we suffer. So that's why Buddha's light of wisdom try to disperse the darkness of our ignorance. Okay, so let me go back to that. So what is Shinjin? Now, I just introduced some aspect of Shinjin, but of course Shinjin is a decisive course of for us to become a Buddha, attain enlightenment, nirvana. And then primal vow, then you can tell what is primal vow, then Butsu other power, and those are the kind of things I've talked today. So the sacred name of the Tathagata, Namo Amitabha Butsu, this short phrase surpasses measure, description, and conceptual understanding. Right? So speaking of Buddhism, practitioners, we need to engage ourselves long and hard Buddhist practices. But this Amida's teaching is very different, very unique in that you don't have to do that. You just recite the Namo Amitabha Butsu. Just practice this simple practice, simple short phrase, which is very unusual, unique, different. But this is the power of this 6 Chinese cards. It's like a small pill of medicine. It's a small pill, but it's a kind of encapsulation of many people's effort, researchers, pharmacists, right? So 6 Namo Amitabha Butsu, character Namo Amitabha Butsu is short, simple, but it contains huge virtues within it. So because of that, we can attain supreme nirvana. So that's why once we attain Shinjin, we have a joy and a reverence. Because with this short, simple practice, I'm surely be liberated from this samsara. Right? So that's why as a Buddhist who want to attain enlightenment, to be liberated this samsara, you can make it. So that's why we have a joy, reverence. And then because Shakyamuni Buddha, Amida Buddha brought awareness, who I am, and then how to get out of this life of suffering in samsara. So that's why we show appreciation to Buddha's benevolence, Buddha's guidance. Right? This is another aspect of Shinjin. And then because of that, practice-wise, we recite the Namo Amitabha Butsu constantly. Right? Those who have attained Shinjin. And then once we complete this life, then that's the moment we can be liberated from the life of suffering, right? Attain nirvana. So that's why, death, for many people, death is an issue. But for Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, maybe death has become something different. So Shinjin is a state of mind during the journey with a true companion, Buddha Dharma or Amida Buddha. And then in the life journey, we receive so many benefits, kind of joy, guidance or experiences from Amida Buddha. Maybe those kind of complete benefits will be taught by Kamura Sensei and then Kenji Sensei afterwards. はい、ありがとうございました。ごめんなさい。I talked too long. はい、ありがとうございました。Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Kuwahara Sensei. I'll take about a 10-minute break, and then we'll return here for Reverend Dr. Carmela's talk next.